Good afternoon, everybody. This is Tanisha LaVerne Grant with Black in America. And as always, I'm always excited about my guest. This afternoon, I have a beautiful ingenue who is quickly rising to the upper echelons in Hollywood. Miss Taylour Paige, who is starring in Netflix's brand new Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, executive produced by none other than the incomparable Denzel Washington. With an all-star cast leading Viola Davis, with Viola Davis leading as Ma Rainey, the late beautiful Chadwick Boseman as Levee. And this is, if you watch nothing else this holiday season, you have got to watch Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. It is one for the culture. It's already been tapped for various nominations for this upcoming award season. Taylour Paige, welcome to the platform. How are you?
Thank you so much. I'm good. I am. How are you?
You look amazing. You're zen. I can tell, like, you're nice and relaxed right now.
Well, you let us take a deep breath before we started, so.
Yeah, that's important. It's important.
I know, right?
So, audience, my beautiful audience, I like to break the fourth wall sometimes. So Taylour portrays Dussie Mae. And Dussie Mae is so sensual, okay, and she knows it, and she runs up the middle on everybody with this sensuality. She is the apple of Ma Rainey's eye and a conquest of Levee, portrayed by Chadwick Boseman. Taylour, when you first got the script and the call that you would be starring opposite all these big bright diamonds, like
bright diamonds is correct.
Let's talk about that.
Girl. I mean, I think I just, of course I cried. I sobbed, actually. Because, well, first, like taking it from the top, you got August Wilson, who's a prophet, who's a genius, who allows for us to just exist because he sees us, he hears us, he knows us. And then you have Denzel, and you have George C. Wolfe, who's a genius, who, like, just all these people who give a damn. And then it's like, I get to be among this frequency. Like, I remember at our table read, on one side of the table, it was George C. Wolfe, and on the other side of the table was Denzel. And next to George, it was Chadwick, and next to Chadwick it was Viola, and next to Viola it's like Michael Potts and Coleman and Glenn and all of these people with all these beautiful experiences, but also the miracle of being Black and being alive. Like, it's a miracle, like, to open your eyes and put one foot in front of the other and to be able to write it and tell it and talk it and do it, and it just is like it's big. It's like the play in and of itself is very grounded and heavy, and, like, I think you really have to sit with what he's saying, because it's in the in between, really. Like, it's a knowing, but then I also feel like it's so much, it like extends out to some, like, other, it feels like this energy is hovering around us from somewhere up there, And
it is definitely a gift. I watched it last night, and I had, access to it for probably about a month, and I knew I had to be ready.
Yes.
I knew that I had to be ready. Every scene, every movement that you guys made with your instruments, the spoken and unspoken lines, just the energy that was, like, moving throughout was just so beautiful and so palpable. And, you're Dussie Mae. I mean, just her mannerisms, like, for me, there's no one more beautiful than a woman who knows that she's beautiful, and accepts that and honors that and moves in that and is unapologetic about that, and that's what I loved most about Dussie Mae. Dussie did not give a damn, honey.
What's so funny is it's so funny because I decided, like, when, deciding who she was from the inside out, I'm, like, thinking about the weight of the world, and we're in the 1920s, and you're a Black woman, and to me, to be a Black woman is to constantly, today and then, is to constantly be gaslit. Like, why are you so rational? Why are you so erratic? Oh, you're so sexual. Oh, you're not sexual enough. Oh, it's to constantly be like, why do you think I'm crazy or reactive or angry, or like, you know, which one came first? And I think, but it's funny, I played her like she didn't give a damn, but she gave all the dams. She really cares about audition. She wants so badly to survive and to not be made to feel disposable. The world says she is, and even among these people, you know, Ma could be like, I'm over it. Like, she's just like, can someone tell me that I matter, that I'm loved, that I can stay? You know, maybe if I sing it this way and I swing my hips this way and I line my lips up perfectly, maybe then you'll know, like, I'm not replaceable. Like, it's really right on the precipice of, it's like, they're all so deeply wounded and afraid, and it manifests in their bodies differently.
Yeah, it's something to see. I mean, it's something to see just watching. Oh my God, you know, just watching Chadwick Boseman, you know, watching Coleman Domingo, you know, watching Glenn Thurman, watching your facial expressions almost moved me to tears, you know, in some of those scenes. I had to hit pause, you know, if ever there were, you know, a better entree for a young actress to make her mark in Hollywood early, like, this is it for you. There was.
Wow, thank you. Oh, you're gonna make me cry. Stop.
Oh no,
thank you.
Don't.
That's really, thank you.
Yeah, the role was so powerful and so subtle and so elegant, you know, and you really should live in that moment. You know, it's so crazy. I had an interview with David Banner a few weeks ago, and he said, we too often relish in those moments that make us unhappy, but those moments that make us happy, we don't relish in those moments long enough. You know, we'll talk about some negative crap over and over and over and over again, but those moments that edify us, you know, and
we don't,
you know, honor who we are, we don't exist in those spaces long enough. You know, so I encourage you. Yeah,
a lot of complaining and
this wonderful performance that you gave in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, because, you know, it's already garnering so many conversations about nominations for this award season, and you should be proud to be a part of that cast, really and truthfully.
Thank you so much. I received that, and I really, really, that means a lot. Thank you.
You know, so you're more than welcome. You know, what was it like, you know, just watching the late Chadwick Boseman? To me, this was a performance of a lifetime for him. This was, I mean, he's done some amazing work. This was his best work. There was something about this performance.
I agree. 100%. I think I'm just so in awe of his willingness and the allowance of letting spirit just work through him and of him. And, you know, in our scenes, we had a whole day dedicated to our scenes that day, but we had rehearsed it months before, because George had us we almost had, it was like 2.5 weeks of rehearsal before we began. And then before we'd start, we'd rehearse it clear of camera, clear of ADs, clear of everyone, where it was just us with George. And I just felt like Chadwick was just so willing to be in service of honesty, of the truth of these characters, of the truth of really the, like, what are we saying? You know, he has a lot of heavy lifting in this film. He has a lot to say. He's talking about something specific that happened to him, but really he's talking about thousands upon thousands of people we've never heard from, really, you know? He's talking about people today, people yesterday, people then. It's like, it's such a responsibility and an honor. And I think he was just so willing to be of service to the story. He took Chadwick out and it was just Levee. And like, it's so painful because I don't know. I found for me, everyone has their own interpretation, but like one of the saddest parts of the movie for me is in the play is his shoes. Like it's like a little boy. How pure is that to be like, I got me some new shoes.
Yep.
You know, like
the basics.
I just think about us as a collective. Like we haven't. Now I'm starting to tear up. Like we had to work so hard for the damn shoes. You know, like we're not in the field anymore, but we're in the field. Mm-hmm. Yet we still find a way to celebrate, to dance, to move our feet, to put one in front of the other. And like just the childlike purity and the weight of saying like, I got me some new shoes, you know? That's like really the beginning of to me, one of the saddest lines.
Yeah.
How simple.
Yep. I mean, I agree with you. There were so many powerful scenes. There were so many gestures that really, you know, that really just made you sit, or just made me sit, you know, in this Blackness. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know, that one scene with Viola Davis, you know, where Ma is just like, you know, get me my Coca-Cola. You know, like it's not
about the damn Coca-Cola.
You know? And mm-hmm. if you're not dialed in, you think it's just about a Coca-Cola. But it's so much more than that. Coca-Cola, you know, like you were saying about the gaslighting, and, you know, for anybody who works in this industry, and just to be a Black person, period, all across the board, it doesn't matter what industry you work in, just this Black human experience is to always be marginalized, always to be undercut. Yeah, always to be undercut. You know, when you look at Viola Davis and just being on set with her, you know, what did you learn most, you know, from working with her?
Oh my gosh. It's like, what didn't I learn? She really is everything you'd want and expect her to be, which is the best. Like,
yeah,
she's mama, she's auntie, she's friend, she's teacher, she's student, she's interested, so she's interesting, she's available, she's honest, she's hilarious. Like, she's really a comedian. Like, she's so funny.
You know what I found interesting, and I kept playing the scene back a couple times, is that scene where, you know, she's holding you, you know, and I watched it a few times just to see if she was really able to hold you as, you know, a lover, or was she holding you as this young baby girl that she wanted to love and protect? Because, you know, that's a very fine line. That's a very fine line. And I really couldn't see the break. You know, it was a hug that was really two different kinds of hugs. It was just like, you know, you know, and I'm like, let me play that back again to see if it's one or the other. And it really was both. There was no really, like I said, there was no line of demarcation there, which I thought was played really well, which was played really well. You know, so, I mean, Taylour, you're definitely, you know, a beautiful woman, and you own that. You have this agency about you that is very, that is, you know, very subtle and very elegant, but also like in your face too. You know, when you think about the pressures of being a woman, being a Black woman, you know, and being a beautiful woman, you know, what do you think about, you know, when there's so many pressures, you know, that the patriarch puts on us?
Yeah.
We have to look a certain way. We have to be a certain way. Yes. You know, we have Viola Davis, who's in her 50s and is starring.
Woo!
Ain't
she doing it?
Yeah. You know, and as a woman in Hollywood, we get to a certain age and
yeah.
You know,
I think it's, for me, I haven't always felt like, I definitely grew up, I feel like I bloomed later. I felt like a duckling. I was a bit different. I was a bit odd. The things I was interested in, like, I definitely didn't. I think that if I'm being really honest, like, my mom projected a lot of self-loathing onto me that I think I internalized. So I'm just getting to a place where I'm undoing a lot of the words that, like, a lot of the voices that weren't even mine. I'm like, oh, that's not even mine. That's not what I think about that.
Yeah.
And, but also overall, like, yeah, there is pressure. You know, I feel like, again, I'm being super honest about something that feels very silly to talk about, but for the sake of, like, you know, like, you do a photo shoot, it doesn't come out right, you don't like the clothes. I used to be so people pleasing and placating and like, I don't want to hurt people's feelings and I don't want to say no, so I do it. But then I'm like, you know, abandoning myself. And so, and I found that I would justify, like, oh, I hate the photo, or I hate this, or this was wrong, or whatever. But at least I have a good heart. But there is something in that, because I've learned too, like, your looks fade, your hair could be a mess, but like, are you good? Because you have to live with you. Do you like you? Are you good? Are you kind? Like, at the end of the day, those are things that like, you know, I'm not someone's cup of tea, or you don't really like me. You don't like my voice. You don't like what I have to say. You don't think whatever. And like, that's all irrelevant.
Yeah.
And I feel like as I've actually like really believed that and like zoomed in on that and actually like really mean it, which I've already said, sorry, but that has just, I think, made me more radiant. And it's coming from a place from the inside, like, really. So the others, and then I've become more clear about what it is I do want. I want to wear my hair like this, or I want my makeup like this, you know? It becomes, I've stopped. And sometimes, yeah, we get caught up and it's social media and dumb shit.
Yeah.
But really, I've stopped. Is the tea going off? I feel like I've stopped going from the outside in. I think the tea is going off, Cynthia. Sorry, I think the tea is. Sorry. Yeah. But I think I've stopped gauging. Like, how I'm not waiting for the world to inform me who I am or the world to validate me. I'm like going from the inside out. And some days, those days, I'm like, ooh, I'm not fucking with myself. I'm getting on my nerves, you know?
I get it. I so totally get it. You know, Taylour, my last question to you is, when you think about your role of a lifetime, you know, what does that role of a lifetime look like? You know, who is she? Like, what is she? You know?
Oh, you're cutting out. Okay. Yes.
I said
you cut out for a second, my love.
Uh-oh. Girl, that's why we have editing.
Now it's better.
Yeah.
Right.
When you think about your role of a lifetime, like, what does that look like to you? Like, who is she? What is she? You know, and what is a mise en scène for this film, you know, that encompasses your role of a lifetime?
It's just having been honest and having tried every way you can to lend yourself to the story and taking yourself out of it, but using everything you've ever healed.
Using everything you've ever healed. I love that line.
Yeah.
I love that. Using everything you've ever healed. Wow, Taylour. That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. You are a gem of a human being. This was an amazing interview. I am watching you. The world is watching. And I look forward to chatting with you again. And I cannot wait to see what comes down the pipeline for your amazing career. You're going to have an amazing career. All the best.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye now.
Thank you.
Oh, you're
blessings.
Oh, same to you.